We have some early morning activity on the Wild Country Facebook page. Discussions about photography.
We do indeed.
Some photography advice from our state duck calling champion.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Uh-huh.
800-829-0950, 206-286-9595 are the phone numbers. We're going to have open phones the next segment at 6:45, so Wild Country Nation, be prepared for that. In the meantime, let's do a quick check-in to the 509. Brad Wagner of Bobber Down Guide Service sent a photo yesterday. It seemed like he repeated the words fun a lot. Brad, you said fun like half a dozen times. Sure was a fun day today. Fun.
Fun day.
Yeah. How's it going over there, bud?
I like rubbing it in. You guys over there on the west side, and I
man.
Rub it in on the text message as we're out there fishing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just glad a guy that's been guiding as long as you can still remember what it's supposed to be all about, and that
Absolutely.
is fishing is supposed to be fun.
That's right.
Attaboy, hats off to you, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's and it has been. I hate to keep using the same word, but it has been pretty fun. We've been, sunshine, short sleeves, and steelhead. Not a bad scenario.
Not a bad scenario at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to fill the gas tank and come on over and spend a couple days with you, I think, because of what's going on over here. So on the opener, I mean, you hit the water and didn't look back. Things are fishing pretty well. And where are you putting in your time, and how's the fishing actually been?
Just like all the openers, it's really good right off the start. Bam, bam, bam. Tons of fish, tons of people, and then it kind of dies off a little bit. The fish, it's low, clear water, and so the fish get hammered on. They've just been hanging out, nobody around them, no activity on the water. Then there's tons of people, and the fish just get spooked, lockjawed, and now they're kind of coming back out of that now, and it's getting into some pretty good fishing again.
So you are fishing what, Methow?
Yeah, Methow right now, exactly.
Low and clear. So let's talk techniques. Everybody knows bobber down is there's a reason for that. You fish a lot of floating jigs. So if I'm coming over there with low clear conditions and things are fishing the way they are, am I having to use clear floats? Am I ultra stealthy with fluorocarbon leaders? Am I small jigs, 1/32, 1/16, color patterns? Let's break it down, Brad.
I am running. I almost always run 16th and 32nd ounce jigs there on the Methow, but I don't really get into the clear floats too much. I don't really get into the fluorocarbon too much. I just don't like fluorocarbon a lot. Have too many issues breaking off and whatnot. But because when you're jig fishing, most of the time your line isn't going through the line of sight of the fish. Your jig is up above the fish a little bit, so I don't necessarily worry about the line as much.
Right.
I do run fluorocarbon on my droppers. So I'll run a lot of jigs. I'll run a little heavier jig, maybe an 1/8 ounce jig, and then a bead dropper, or I've been running a lot of small fly droppers, little Topper Johns, little, real small size 14 type stuff, and get them on my dropper a lot. And I will run fluorocarbon on my dropper because that is more in the line of sight of the fish.
What pound test? What size hook are you pinning under that dropper if you're using a bead or something small?
If I'm running a bead, I'm running mostly 8 and 10 millimeter beads, and I'll run usually about a size 4. And I run a wide gap. It's a bass hook actually. It's a wide gap. I run the steely beads, and then so I'll pin my steely bead 2 inches up above a wide gap bass hook. Because actually they're real thin bass hooks, and then a size 4 right there, and it sticks them nicely.
Are you in the raft or are you in the drift boat with the low conditions?
It's all raft. Yeah, definitely raft. It's low. It's a lot of drag in the raft actually.
Are guys with drift boats able to make it down no problem, or it's quite a bit of
No. The Methow is not really a real good drift boat river to start with.
Right.
There's a few drifts. There's pretty much one in the middle, a short one, and then there's a couple drifts up high. But for the most part, it's a raft river. It's steep, bouldery. It's a lot of fun to row, especially when there's a little more water in it, just because of the steep and boulderness. But for the most part, it's a raft river.
So let's talk bank access. You're gonna be visited by probably a number of guys from the west side. Based on what we have going on over here, guys are looking to fish, Brad. You buy your license, you just don't want it to sit in your wallet. So putting gas in the car, coming over. Give me some locations and some bank access for guys that have not been over there and are looking to come catch some steelhead.
And that's the great thing about the Methow is well, a lot of you guys are going to be coming over the North Cascades. So you're going to come and fish from the top of the river down, or you can fish from Pateros up. It doesn't really matter. When you get to about Carlton,
Mm-hmm.
from Carlton to Pateros, you have a ton of bank access. There's just the road follows the river. It's a small, like I say, a small bouldery river. It's really easy to see whitewater run. It's a really easy river to read. And the road parallels the whole thing, and there's just pull-offs all over the place. It's just a really easy river to fish from the shore.
I know, Brad, that you're also going to spend some time on the Big River as well. Talk a little bit, if you can, about kind of what you expect this late fall winter on the Columbia.
Definitely. The Big River's fishing really good, too. It's just kind of a choice of you can only fish so many places at one time. But the Big River's fishing really nice, and it's open from just below Wells Dam, up above Wells Dam, all the way up to Chief Joseph Dam. And there's a lot of fish up in there. We got 14,000 fish, 14,000 adult steelhead over Priest Rapids. And so there's a lot of fish in the system up in here. And the Big River is a lot. It just opens it up a lot more. That's when you're out in the sled, out in the big boat, a lot of bobber and jig show. You can use bait out in the Columbia. So it's a lot nicer. You can, break out your coon shrimp. I know that makes you smile, Duane. And
just a little bit.
Get the coon shrimp out and
yeah.
and jig and bob, and opens you up to some trolling. Actually, how slow the water is in a lot of places up there, that steelhead will bite the regular like trout trolling systems, and it's just a really fun way to fish sometimes up there.
Is the water low enough on that stretch of the Columbia you're describing, where I've been there before, and you can read the water and find the edges and the ledges, and you kind of drift along with your bobber and jig as you're explaining. I got to think some of those rock formations are sticking out, and you can see the actual cover and whatnot where those fish would want to duck into.
Yeah, the Columbia is not as low as the Methow or any of the other rivers. It's not unreasonably low by anything.
Okay.
It does fluctuate, and be very careful. I was driving on my way home from the Methow yesterday, and there was probably a 20-foot sled that I drove by on the side of the river, probably 20 feet from the water.
Whoops.
And because you'll go up on the beach and they'll drop the river, and they'll drop it quick. So it's one of those things you have to be really careful about. You pull over on the beach, go to the bathroom, make lunch, whatever you want to do. A lot of guys end up with their boats high and dry up
Tide
there.
goes out.
Exactly. Get some clamming on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not to kind of poke a sore subject here, but the Wenatchee River will not be open. So what's the deal there?
You are poking a sore
I know.
subject.
I'm sorry.
I told him not to bring it up, but he's like, we got to talk about it.
Yeah. Curious about this though, Brad. What's the word?
I try to keep my language good on the radio, but I'm not exactly sure why it's not open. Honestly, there's a lot of fish. They want to see so many pit-tagged fish into the river itself for NOAA to allow them to open the fishery. They say that they don't have the pit-tagged fish, but you got to question some of their methods, some of their readers. There's a lot of fish in the system. There's as many fish in the Wenatchee as there is in the Methow or the Okanagan, and both of those rivers are open. And these numbers are according to the dam counts at the FPC.org, Fish Passage Center. And when you look at the numbers, they're good. They're really good numbers. You can look at Wells numbers, divide that by 2, half for the Okanagan, half for the Methow, and we have the same amount of fish in the Wenatchee. We have the same amount of wild fish, and we have the same amount of hatchery fish. So we got a hatchery. They look for 2 components. You got to have a strong enough wild run so you can have a fishery without being detrimental to that, and you have to have enough hatchery fish for harvest.
Right. And
we have plenty of both of those fish, quite honestly, and I don't. I'm in talks with them every day, and I keep heckling them, but I don't know. I'm up in arms. I feel it should be open. Fish and Game feels a little differently about that than I do, I guess.
Is there any chance? Have they indicated? Well, they're like you said, they're just waiting for a certain number, and then they fully intend on opening it. Or right now, it's like, no, it's probably not going to open this year.
They're telling me it's probably not going to open.
That's interesting.
And which is, I mean, I live on the Wenatchee.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a 2-minute walk down to one of the best steelhead runs on the river. I mean, I want it open more than anything. But yeah, they're telling me it's probably not going to open because they don't think they're going to get the amount of wild fish. And it's a bummer because they say they're only looking for like, what'd they tell me? I think it was only like 380 wild fish or something like that. And there's over, like, last time I looked, there was 1,561 adipose present fish over between Rock Island and Rocky Reach Dam, which the Wenatchee River is the only thing in between there.
So you got, yeah.
And, I mean, when you look at the numbers over the dam, we have the fish. It drives me crazy.
Well, here's the good news. The Methow is open. The Upper Columbia is open. Brad Wagner of Bobber Down Guide Service will be fishing both of those this month, next month. If you want to participate in this fishery, even if you want to go over there and fish for a couple of days and just learn the fishery a little bit and maybe go back on your own, that's not a bad idea. But give Brad a call, 509-670-3095. You can log on to www.fishwenatchee.com. You can go follow him on Facebook. Brad, appreciate the information. Good check-in. Good luck today, bud.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Be calling you soon. All right, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Yeah, once again, other destinations, that you need to kind of gravitate towards because fishing is actually pretty good, unlike some of the things we have going on over here.
The phones will be open for the next segment. Wild Nation hotline is open. Give us a call at 800-829-0950, 286-286-9595. Go over to the Wild Country Facebook page. Take a look. Surf through some of the comments left by viewers, listeners, and folks who are part of the Wild Country Nation. We've got some good observations here on just this kind of the cult of negativity on the internet.
And you and I can talk about this ad nauseum, but hey, I don't want to hear from you anymore, Shangle. I want to hear from people tuning in. We got a lot of people that tune in every Saturday morning. You know what? Pick up the phone and dial. The phone call's free, and we want to hear your side of this. And if you think Shangle and I are completely whacked, which you probably do, and you have good reason to throw negativity towards folks, hey, man, let us know. Sling and Mud is your thing. Great. Bring it here. We'll listen to you. Just make sure you call in.
800-829-0950, 206-286-9595. You're listening to Northwest Wild Country on Sports Radio 950 KJR and Comcast Sportsnet Northwest.